All of their bank accounts would be transferred to dollars, and they would just have that much less, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it would spend more, and then they wouldn't. There'd be no more. There'd be no more queen on the money on this continent. Sorry,
let's think about
England.
this for a second. Slow down. Let's think about this for a second.
Mm.
Let's think about it. It would be obviously it would be so easy
To conquer Canada.
To conquer Canada.
Yeah.
But were it so easy?
Who's on your $100 bill now?
I don't give a fuck.
You know who's on
Who's
ours?
on mine? Who's on mine?
Our guy invented electricity. Who's on yours? What they do?
Well, discovered. You know.
It's the queen again.
Every
It's
time
the-
you
it's
see it
the
spoken
queen
of,
again.
they invented.
He invented it.
It's Princess Diana.
No, it's not.
He didn't discover electricity. There's no.
It's like the back of it, the tunnel in the car, like a picture.
I know. I don't. The
see
guy. I always call him Mr. Coke.
Mr.
He's
Coke?
there. Yeah, Robert
It's only been
Borden.
24 years.
No,
Who's the most famous politician in Canadian history? Like the guy with
Jerry
like,
Fox.
Jerry Fox.
No,
Terry Fox.
Oh, Terry Fox.
Jeff
No, I don't
Foxworthy?
know.
He's not
No, he's
Canadian.
not. He wasn't. He's just running a marathon. I'm goofing around. But the I don't think it would be so easy to invade Canada because
we don't want to invade.
because how do you do it?
We want your government to vote to become our vassal. I think is the plan.
But then what happens?
Well, you become an American.
But no one in the government would do that, you know? Listen, I'm on your side, dude. I want you to sleep over at my house. I'm just trying to think, how can I help you guys?
Well, I can't get inside of Trump's mind, but I'm sure he has all the details worked out. You know, he wouldn't have said the things he said if he didn't know the nitty gritty details on how.
Dude, he doesn't fire from the hip before he knows
how to turn a nation of 30 or so million people into a state. He can do that. You know, it's not a big deal. You know, we just got to figure out the name, really. I think you guys would make a good 6-7 states at least. Would all those Frenchies get their own state? We're going to do that for sure.
They already have their own state, though.
Yeah, but it's going to be a smaller one now. They need to concentrate. If you know,
this
what
is
I mean.
interesting. If you guys bought Canada, then Woody's Microtech out the front won't be illegal here.
Oh yeah, you guys would get a lot of cool laws. We'd have to make sure that the cool laws from us went to you guys, and that we didn't absorb any of your stupid laws.
Well, no, but you do want the government to sell you cocaine 8 balls.
That's what I said. The stupid laws,
yeah,
like the cool one, the cocaine law that can come
clear.
down south of the border.
We get your gun laws. You get our cocaine laws.
What are we gonna do about those Eskimos though? Like what do y'all? How do y'all?
We don't call them that. We don't call them that anymore. But since you guys are coming back, I guess we can get used to that again.
Yeah, Eskimo kissing. Nothing wrong with that. Rub them noses
a little
together.
Eskimo kissing.
Yeah.
And I say, like,
Kyle,
just
I
let the
feel
Eskimos
like we
do what they
answered
want to
this
do.
at the top of the show. There's 30,000 beds for those Eskimos.
You're goddamn
They
right.
didn't do anything wrong though. They're just up there eating blubber.
Trials.
Yeah, you'll never get them. You'll never get them.
They've been
They're gonna
freezing
make
those
it hard
Eskimos.
for you, dudes. You guys, you know how hard it is to fight in the mountains and the caves when they got tunnel systems? Imagine that, but it's snow. You'll never see them. There's no heat readings. They're like invisible to technology.
We'll see.
Invisible to
It'd be like high-tech soldiers in like Arctic camouflage moving through the snow, and it would just be
telling me
like,
the American military can't handle the Eskimo.
I'm telling you, you're lucky
We're playing the long game. We're gonna destroy their environment like they're polar bears.
You gotta wait them out. That's what you gotta do. You gotta wait for it to become more arid in the US and better weather in Canada, and then once the snow clears, then you can. But dude.
Can you imagine being a Chinese guy who overstayed your visa and you wake up next week in Cuba and you're like, what the fuck is going on right now? You see palm trees and shit. but you look over the fence and you see like our boys like
you said he's Chinese
over there at the base.
Right?
Chinese?
1 second you're at Shambhala trying Molly for the first time, and now you're in Gitmo.
Yeah.
This is a hell of a trip.
I'll be honest, if you why would he keep it? Why would he keep a Chinese person?
He has to keep so he said my take on it, what it seems to be anyway, you never know. He's never very direct and specifics aren't his thing, but it seems like there are some people that we're just going to keep forever that we're going to catch because we think that if we send them back to El Salvador, they'll get released again, and they don't deserve that. I'm sure there's some terrorists. I bet they're declaring some people that they made the cartels terrorist organizations. It seems like Gitmo's a good place for them. They could probably, I was saying a while ago, that probably allows them to be a little bit more harsh on those cartel members when they capture them and treat them under terrorist rules, which seems like pirate code to me most of the time.
So, why?
I think it's a processing center though, because I know China doesn't want their people back. I think I've heard that they're saying no, they're not accepting those flights.
I thought they loved their people back.
Not these. They got the taint of
they had
capitalism.
like Chinese police stations like hidden around Canada.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have
like,
them here too.
People were like here, like they're like if you were doing something like you can get in trouble with the law in China here.
Yeah.
In these like secret police stations that they had set up.
Yep.
Which is pretty next level.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Grok to make a fucking image of what it would look like if the U.S. military was attacking Eskimos and they were holed up in an Eskimo stronghold, and he's just making them friends over and over. And so I think the proof's in the pudding. The AI would know we're gonna be peaceful with the Eskimos. We're gonna let them do their thing up there. I don't think they're hurting anybody. I think all the whales that they were killing for a long time, they're already dead. It's fine. There's no bringing them back.
They've recovered greatly. The whales are coming back. Fuck those Eskimos. Dig them out of their igloos and send them to Cuba. That's what I say. Yeah, see how they like a taste of the good life. They've been living in that ice house they up for their whole lives. So
I bet they would.
They'd love that shit. They would. Oh my god, this is possible.
Yeah, they would. They would actually probably really
I don't know
like
what
it.
sand looks like.
I bet if they lived in like, even in an area like Calgary, they'd be like, God, it's balmy. It's balmy. It's hot out.
Do you know about China's road and bridge program?
I bet it's a lot of roads and bridges. They tend to do that stuff.
The idea is to like spend $1 trillion or so all over the globe.
I like that.
That's invading Canada.
Third world nations.
They get.
And look, when we take
senators.
Greenland, here's what I would be worried about if I'm actually Canada. Once we take Greenland, if you pull up the old map, the old globe, you'll see that there's a nice connectivity there between Alaska and Greenland, but it's owned by Canada. And it's that northern part that y'all don't even use.
Yeah,
right?
it's like
Well, you know, it's really interesting. Once, like, I saw the joking at first, and then it kept happening. I'm like, oh, it's pretty serious. I was like, hey, wait a second. They all believe in global warming. Why would you go there too? Why would you want Greenland and Canada unless you believe specifically that the planet's heating up?
It's like, yeah, global warming, that's totally fake. But unrelated to that, all the ice is melting, and now that's becoming a shipping lane. But global warming's not real, but the shipping lane is.
Yeah,
I think we're more worried about the missile defense. That'd be a great place.
Yeah,
it's right between us and China and Russia. Like if you go over the top, of the globe.
Because none of those people.
That's where the missiles.
They also keep their
path
houses.
of the ICBMs that will kill us.
Yeah, I could see it being defensively valuable for the reasons Kyle said, but also like none of these really, really rich people talking about climate change. None of them are selling their houses in Martha's Vineyard. They still have all their coastal property. Like they're not worried about the sea level rising and destroying their investment.
And I'd like to bully Denmark.
They'll be dead.
Why not?
You want to bully them more, Kyle?
Yeah, let's bully Denmark a little. Like, let's mess with them.
Oh, bully Denmark more.
Yeah,
I don't think it wouldn't take much to bully Denmark. I bet they would get in line and what do they like? What does Denmark love? Send one plane of that over
reindeer
there.
meat,
and then
wooden shoes, maybe?
Remoulade and hot dogs.
One big military plane of wooden shoes, and they can take it or leave it.
Remoulade. You guys ever put remoulade on a hot dog? It's good. It's like a little mayo-y, mustardy type thing. They love that shit there.
Yeah.
All right, one cargo plane full of remoulade, and then we get Greenland, and we can turn it into Kyle's idea that you mentioned yesterday. Kyle was turning it into the largest prison.
Yeah, send them there. I think. I think that we've got a lot of bad element around here. We could introduce over there. People that I wouldn't necessarily call criminals. I call them potential criminals. They're like alpha predators that we've got living here. And we could send those people over and they'd climatize quickly. They're a hardy bunch. They'd figure it out.
It's like Minority Report.
No,
I was going more
New York. It's more like Auschwitz.
It's like reporting on It's like reporting on minorities.
I've seen Schindler's List.
Have you really seen Schindler's List?
Yes. When you mention a movie that's like a big deal and I've seen it, I'm always like, yep.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Terminator 2 also? Yeah.
Nah, I don't bring that
as far as you know.
Same conversation. But yeah, I don't know what Trump's going to do. He seems genuinely serious about Panama and Greenland. Less so, I believe, clearly for Canada because you're a sovereign nation that we'd have a hard time conquering you. It could take weeks. So we don't want to do that. A lot of good Canucks would be lost in the effort. Some of the best Canadians in the world come from Canada. So, or some of the best comedians.
I mean, you were right.
All the best Canadians. All the best Canadians come from Canada.
I love our friends to the north, and I wouldn't want to get into war with them.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
Who put this dumb, pathetic on there?
What subreddit did this come from?
You found my graphic.
I wish there was one pointing to Mexico that just said smelly.
Canada is just slightly larger in population than California.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How does their economy compare?
I would have to look it up. I bet it's much smaller.
No, you don't.
yeah.
California is wild with their economy. It's like the 7th biggest economy in the world or something, like compared to other countries.
And they pay a lot more in taxes than they receive.
Of course they do. Yeah.
They got all those big tech companies.
Yeah, but isn't every state going to pay for themselves now or something? Wasn't that the next move?
I don't buy it.
With like FEMA.
Well, that's not what he was saying though.
What the fuck is he saying?
He's saying that he wants to eliminate the federal emergency management FEMA thing, and he wants to take all of its budget and give it to the states proportionally and let them handle their own shit. And someone pointed out, was like, all right, well, what if there's a fire in Maryland? All right, is Maryland going to have to handle the whole thing by themselves? It's like, well, there's states around Maryland, everybody will work together. And I'm thinking, that's exactly how it works now. FEMA doesn't work nationally. They have regional FEMA central control areas. It's probably Atlanta for the Southeast, just because it makes sense. And that's where they store vast amounts of trucks and resources and all the boom trucks and shit. Because when Louisiana gets struck, Louisiana can't handle it. There's not, they can't keep that on hand. It doesn't make sense what he's saying. It's a bad idea. But from his standpoint, I'm sure it makes plenty of sense, because he's seeing that government red tape and bureaucracy is just getting in the way of getting the help to that guy right there that I'm talking to. Why can't this guy get a truck over here? Where's the truck? Well, in 3 months. No, I want the truck now. So he's dealing with that.